What would the world be like without teachers? I'll say that the world would be like nothing, because without teachers we wouldn't have doctors to help heal us. We wouldn't have like jobs to help the community be a better place.
The world would be not in control, because if people are not in control, they're going to do bad stuff. It could be like they cannot teach you anymore and then you're saying, I don't know what to do. 0% no learning. We'll all be homeless. It wouldn't be fun because you wouldn't have nothing to learn about.
Oh, it would be chaos. Without my mom and dad, it would be the same thing, like without a teacher.
Visible learning it's a process. To me, it answers 3 questions. Where am I going, how am I going, and where to next?
The student is able to really own their learning and know what it is that they're learning, why they're learning it, and the steps that they're going to take to achieve what they need to learn.
It's a way to give students the voice and the empowerment to want to come to school and do great things with it.
What makes a visible learner is someone who can ask questions without being afraid to, make mistakes.
You show respect. You have to be nice.
You follow like all the learning targets and all the success criteria, and instead of just the teacher telling you something, you can do it by yourself.
Visible learning started for me with John Hattie's work and research and learning about best practices and their effect size. So if it doesn't have a high effect size, it might be something that I caution myself in using in my classroom. So through our standards, we have been working on deconstructing those and creating learning targets.
From there, we break it down. We talk about what the students understand from the learning target. We talk about what they don't understand.
And then the criteria is how they're going to get there. And then the students can also use the criteria to self-assess themselves. In your mind right now, I'd like you to look at the rubric and think about, how are you going? You know where you're supposed to be. You know the destination. Now, how are you going? What is the criteria you are doing well? And what are you struggling with right now?
If they're able to do everything in their criteria, then that helps them understand and know if they're able to meet the learning target.
A problem for teachers is that they don't know what their students are thinking, like what the learning target is in their head. So what my teacher did was she made us do it so she knows what we're thinking.
That's our goal, to go at that learning target. You gotta shoot the air and go in that learning target.
Learning target. What does learning target mean? Like this. What am I learning? And what are we learning today? I am learning to write my letters. Success criteria means what I need to do to hit the target. And you have to use correct formation and do all your work. I think now the kids, because of visible learning, they kind of want to learn. They want to use the terms visible learning, and we kind of explain to them what it means to them. And I think they all want to be visible learners.
The students start to see learning differently, and they start to feel a little bit more empowered, knowing that they have the capabilities of being great teachers to themselves.
What makes it rewarding is when I, as a teacher, see learning through the eyes of the students, and the students see themselves as their own teacher. And that's really what it comes down to. When I do see something like that happening, it's just like I want to jump up and celebrate all their successes, because you've seen how far they've come and they're doing it on their own.
That's the ultimate goal, is that they're understanding what they're learning and they can also teach it to someone else, their peers.
I think it's important that we strive for assessment-capable, visible learners, because those are the kind of students and people that we're putting out into society. So we want them to be prepared
We want them to be able to use those skills that they learn in school outside in the real world.
The skills that they're learning and the questions that they're answering as visible learners won't carry them just through their academic career, but hopefully will carry them through whatever career they choose.
The future really of what these kids are going into, they need kids that are visible learners, and they need students who can have all of those soft skills in order to compete in today's society.
If we can set a good foundation for our students and empower them to aspire to be whatever they want to be, and start them at this age to set goals and work hard towards those aspirations, we can change the world.
I think the work of John Hattie has changed the way we teach here at Kaimiloaʻs by forcing us to see our students and the learning that we're trying to achieve through their eyes.
I think it's taught me to be more compassionate.
It's given me clarity on like where I need to take students and how I'm going to take them there.
It has really changed the way I teach, because now I know what are some things that I can focus on in terms of my practice and really hone in on, versus trying all of these different things and kind of skimming the surface with them.
It's made me more appreciative of how hard it is to learn. And it's really helped me, I think, kind of look at how I learned, why I didn't get what I learned at the time, and try to make sure that the students aren't stuck like how I was.
Helped me to kind of realize that why am I doing this job every day? It helped me to reignite my passion for teaching.
I think prior to going into visible learning, I just felt like I was just trying to get by, and I was just teaching to the best of my abilities, and I felt like I was working really hard, but I felt like I wasn't getting results, and I felt like the students weren't meeting their potential.
Over the years, sometimes we lose passion for what we do because it becomes routine, and sometimes you don't see the immediate feedback, so you feel discouraged. But I think visible learning helps you zero in and focus on those things that are important.
My students at the very beginning of the year, if you ask them, what does it look like to be a good learner? Every single one of them said, you sit nicely, you smile, you raise your hand, and you listen to the teacher, you don't get in trouble. And it was really apparent to me that that really was what school was for them, and that just made me super sad, because school is not about just pretending that you're learning. And so from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I've seen the impact on my students just by knowing what it means to be a good learner or a visible learner. At the end of the year, kids were saying a visible learner or a good learner is a student who tries really, really hard until they get to their goal, or a student who self-assesses themselves so that they can get better, who takes feedback. And it was just pretty amazing, like all these little mini adults kind of talking about stuff, and it affected me as an adult.
Why would that be helpful for us to do our learning target?
To learn our ABCs.
Yeah, maybe it'll help us learn our ABCs if we say the letter name as we write it. Absolutely. Why are we here? We're learning our uppercase and lowercase. Why we gotta learn it for?
To read.
Oh, it's gonna help us read?
Yeah. And write.
Oh, it's gonna help us write?
And to learn.
And learn, of course. Everything we do in school is to help us learn.
So little curve this way, little curve that way, little curve this way. Say, that's kind of simple. But saying little curve, say, that's kind of boring. So instead of that, we're going to say this. Woo, woo, woo. Good? Okay, take out your magic writing fingers. Ready? And. Better if you move your bodies. Ready? Go. Good? Erase it.
If we learn those letters, then we get to read a letter from our friend. And Xander said we get to read an email, right? And then what did Mackenzie say?
We can write a note to someone.
Yes, we can write a note to someone, Aaron. Good thinking.
Grandpa and Mama.
We could write a note to Grandpa and Grandma. Why would we do that?
Because she can feel better.
Oh, maybe if we write a letter, it makes someone feel better if they get our message? Absolutely.
Teaching is purposeful again for me. I'm just more excited about teaching.
I'm learning so much more new things about teaching that I wasn't aware of before.
The journey that we're on for visible learning, it's not an individual journey, but we're kind of all in it together. So it makes it a little bit easier to take that risk and be vulnerable, you know, to let people know, like, I need help with something.
We, as teachers, want to ignite a passion to learn, and visible learning has done that. It's ignited my passion to learn, and it has ignited the students' passion to learn.
And I can just imagine as we keep going on with visible learning, how much more we'll start seeing from students and from teachers themselves as well.
It's given me a different lens to see the students through. It's helped me realize what impact one person can have on another person.
It's definitely what I would want my daughter to be. You know, I would want her to be a visible learner.
Every day I go home, I still want to come back to work the next day. Like, there's always something that I want to change or make better, and I always reflect on what I can do better so that tomorrow it'll be a better day or a good day.
Good morning, boys and girls. I love it. Thank you. Okay, so we are here for our first quarter award assembly, which is for our dispositions of persevere and communicate. So this is our first ever award assembly for our dispositions, which we are very excited about.
Here at Kaimiloaʻs, we believe in teaching your students all the academic things that they need, but we also want to teach them the soft skills that they need. Because when they move on and they leave us and they go to Ilima, and they go on to Camel, and they go on to college, it's those soft skills that they're going to need when they run into things that they don't know, such as persevere, and they need to be able to communicate when they get into their jobs, their great jobs that they're going to have in the future.
And we're so proud of you folks. Like Mr. Nakabui said, the soft skills that these build in you folks are going to take you very far.
I think my students bring out the best in me, and they challenge me in ways that I should be challenged. And I start to realize that I'm more than just a teacher in their life, and that for some, I might be that one person who believes in them. When you think about it that way, it's a very impacting feeling inside that you have the capabilities to change the person's life. And I think that's why visible learning has been such a great inspiration in my teaching career, because it's teaching them to just be good learners and effective learners, and learners who don't stop persevering and striving and just becoming better people in this world. And when you start to focus on those qualities instead of just the content, you see change. And if I can empower students to feel that way about themselves, then I know that they'll go somewhere in life, and that they'll do something that'll make a difference in this world.